I am motivated to do everything I can to win this election. I think it's urgent for our democracy, for our relationships worldwide, and more importantly, for every kitchen table discussion in our country.
She's 83. I just had to look down and make sure that I had that right. She's 83 years old. Joining me now, Josh Hammer of the Great Josh Hammer Show. Josh, okay, so you're Nancy Pelosi. You're old, you're rich, you're corrupt. I get it, all the bad things we can say about Nancy Pelosi, but you are 83 with millions of dollars. And maybe I'm naive, Josh, because I'm only 42, but I would think if I was 83, having accomplished everything she did, and I had millions of dollars, I would be on a lake in Italy or something somewhere eating pizza. Why are these people always staying where they are?
You know, Jesse, I almost had a heart palpitation when you said to me just now, you are Nancy Pelosi. I mean, I know my fiance is trying to get me to do some Botox, but I definitely have not had anywhere close to the level of Botox that Nancy Pelosi has had over her time in Washington over the past 2, 3, 4 decades or so. Look, I mean, what is Nancy Pelosi possibly still hoping to accomplish? I mean, like you said, it's very easy to hit her for corruption. She and Dianne Feinstein have been the two pegs of the San Francisco Democratic Party elite class for decades and decades, going back to the 1970s. By the way, speaking of Pelosi, I mean, shouldn't she be focusing more on whatever happened to her husband, Paul Pelosi, in that very strange episode that I'm not sure that we ever really got the answers to? I mean, I still have a lot of questions about that. I could speculate with you right now. I think you and I probably would go to a similar place if we started speculating, but it didn't look good. Look, I am a strong proponent of age limits. I think even more so than term limits. I mean, look, there is a floor. I mean, we have a 35-year age minimum to run for president. You have 25 years to run for House, 30 for Senate. I mean, the Constitution is very specific about the floor. I mean, part of the reason perhaps why the framers didn't think ahead to put in an age ceiling is that life expectancy obviously was drastically shorter back then. So you probably had less of a reason. But I mean, the notion that we are currently ruled by people in their 80s, like Princess Nancy with her dentures falling off, getting Botox every few months, it really is a slap in the face to the American people ultimately.
It is, Josh, and sadly, this is a bipartisan problem. Obviously, we've all seen the clips recently of Mitch McConnell, the most powerful Republican in Washington, D.C., now can't complete sentences if he's on camera. God only knows how bad it is behind closed doors. So why is it this way, Josh? We have all these politicians people hate, they claim to hate, they're too old, they're too corrupt, they're too this, they're too that. Yet we vote for these people time and time again. All these people are voted. Nancy Pelosi gets voted for easily in San Francisco. Mitch McConnell wins re-election easily in Kentucky every single time.
Yeah, he does. And Mitch McConnell has also gone down now as the longest serving leader of either political party in the entire history of the United States Senate. So that man's had a good run going back to the 1980s. Look, I think the easiest answer to your question, Jesse, is that the longer that you are in power, one is you will have more barnacles that try to attach themselves to the whale or the fish, whatever analogy you want to use. Put another way, you're going to have more lobbyists. You're going to have more people kind of seeking special favors. More people are kind of are going to come to you to beg for scraps at the table. And as that goes on and on and on over years, then eventually you're going to kind of get those people into your orbit. They will either join your formal campaign. They will join an outside super PAC supporting you. They will go into the media and write kind of, praising articles about you. It kind of all feeds onto itself. I mean, this was kind of the best kind of Tea Party era argument for term limits, in addition to age limits, was that you have to have some mechanism in place to prevent this thing, or else you're just going to go on and on and on and on. Because again, it is very much kind of a one-way whirlpool. It's going to just continue down this road. For Mitch McConnell himself, I mean, I feel bad for the guy. I really do. I mean, this is hard to watch, frankly. I mean, this has happened now twice, once in Washington, D.C., once back in Kentucky. I don't know what's going on with him. I'm not a doctor, a mini stroke, mini seizure, maybe neither of those, something else here. I do know that I think Senate Republicans should start planning sooner rather than later as to what a replacement plan looks like for kind of putting someone in there to supplant him as the Republican caucus leader in the United States Senate. And again, I wish him all the best health-wise, but it's probably time for him to start thinking about retiring, at least once the governor's mansion in Kentucky hopefully switches from Democrat to Republican.
For too long, we've been led to believe that communism is a thing of the past. But the truth is, communism is alive. It's here, and it's infiltrating every aspect of American life. Introducing the Anti-Communist Manifesto by Jesse Kelly, the practical guide for patriots ready to defend our nation from its most dangerous enemy. Discover the shocking extent of communist infiltration in our education system, their alliance with American corporations, and the twisted truth behind environmentalism. This eye-opening book exposes the true face of communism and empowers you to fight back. Join the fight for freedom. Pre-order your copy of the Anti-Communist Manifesto today by going to jessekellybook.com.